Hey, and good evening. It's me, Otis Neyrom, and I feel, to be honest, much better than I did even in my during my last video, in which I realized I look really like shit. The impact of this radiotherapy was in a way bigger than I thought it would be, in terms of I was like the whole week literally, and any possibility I got, and this was like actually the whole day. Usually I slept, and still it wasn't enough. So today's the first was the first day that I felt halfway back on track in terms of really being at my full energy level and everything. Um, Although I was thankfully working on Saturday in Hamburg on the new Wicked production, and I had an amazing and exciting day of rehearsals, and I had the opportunity to work for like almost 4 hours with the entire ensemble on detail and this on detail on the articulation and the expression of the lyrics of this amazing piece of musical theater. So actually, I was on Saturday. I was like already quite well. So what's up today? I would like to talk a little bit about this, finally, a little bit about this process that led actually to this diagnosis. And for me, it is three parts actually, three time segments. Obviously, there are these 3 days from the 16th of June on to the 18th of June, where finally was had myself turned into a hospital, into this particular hospital, and got through this whole diagnosis process with the by now well-known outcome. But I would like to spend on these 3 days really the entire next post, because there are in these 3 days they were really in under all aspects really life-changing, and I would like to go a little bit more into the details of how this developed for me in emotion-wise, and why I came out of this hospital actually not entirely totally suicidal and depressed, but kind of really in a very very energized and positive way. Then there's this long period from when the first symptoms appeared, like in February-ish, until actually to the 16th of June. So, and I will talk a little bit. I will just not talk about it. I will explain to you the question I've heard countless times since then. What took me actually so long to turn myself into a hospital and to make sure that this diagnosis is secured. But this third segment is what the whole entire year which led to this point, which is the more I reflect about it, the more it's important it becomes to me to maybe really somewhere in the future spend an extended reflection post or so about this period of time, which was in a way not in a way, it was the by far most we say musical theater, we say there are no there are only challenges, blah, 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 blah. The most challenging, the most catastrophic year in my entire life under any imaginable aspects. It actually began in September 2019 as my dad absolutely out of the sudden and totally unexpected died. This was for me an core-shaking experience for obvious but also for very, very personal reasons, and something I really which took me months and until today to deal with it properly and to cope with it. Unfortunately, this was heavily dramatized by the fact that I had, during the year 2019, I had allowed into my life let's say an unprecedented source of toxicity and extremely negative energy in a form which I did not even closely experience in my entire life before. And let's keep it there for now. This unfortunately escalated got escalated around the death of my dad and the funeral and all the things which happen around this event, and it turned out to be eminent and evident and playing a very, very bad role in actually everything which was linked to the memory of my dad, which is a very impacting and still you hear me talking about it is really it's still hard for me to talk about it because it's really poisoned in a way the memory of my dad in so many ways. So this was in driven to a last escalation, so to speak, at the end of last year, where I finally and eventually found the strength and the energy and the power to eventually and finally and for good get rid of it. And so I was like at the beginning of this year, in terms of having dealt with the death of my dad and with this kind of thing in my life quite well. But in September 2019, my dad died, and in March, I'm working in a musical theater industry, and in March 2000, and on Friday the 13th of March 2020, where all the theaters have were shut down in Germany, and they haven't, the big theaters I'm working for, the big productions, the big musical productions, have not reopened until to date. So when they shut down that in March, it was like we were all like joking about it. That's 3 weeks, 4 weeks to the utmost, and then we you know, then we then this production and got to go to the next one. Oh, how long we were! So this is actually, since without any interruption, I was like cursed into unemployment, out of a really thriving and overly healthy and really carefully over 20 years built, solid and well working and successful career. So it's not. I mean, I'm so much happier than many other people in my colleagues, or so many other people who are working in the live entertainment industry. As it's a disaster. So I so I got really a lot of help and support from my government. So otherwise I wouldn't have survived even 3 months or something. So. But it was not only of course the economic aspect of it became more and more increasingly dramatic, and I come out of this crisis. I went into this crisis with 0 deaths and come out of this crisis with like 20,000 euros of deaths. So this is also not a nice feeling. But you know, I am in a very lucky position, because I know that the moment the theaters finally reopen, I have jobs again. So many of my colleagues do not have that security on this safety net. But it was not only the economic aspect. I am in the luckiest position that I made my passion to my profession. So, but that means on the other side, on the other hand, I was, like, there was this huge time problem, and there was not even, the problem was there was not even a clear set time. Then it begins and then it's over. So forget the next year, and then you could have had find something else or something alternative for this defined period of time. But it was a permanent crawling from 1 month to the next one, and it was like I felt sometimes like buried alive in this apartment, and robbed of everything which makes my life worth living, actually. So I have not remotely realized how important my work really is for me, and the energy I get from this the energy, this positive energy I get daily, on a daily basis from my students, from the dancers, from the actors, from the performers, working with them. This is this energy was like really painfully missing. So, but at the beginning of this year, everything was like it started to look much better. So the beginning of this year was like there was not even just the light and the end of the tunnel. There was really the end of the tunnel began visible. It was became more and more really not just likely, but realistic that the theaters are reopened by September, October, what they are doing now. So I was like really at the beginning of this year. I started into this year with a new kind of sense of energy and positivity. I got rid of this really like toxic energy in my life, which crammed into my life, could only hold so long for such a long time onto my life because of the lack of energy. Probably this was one of the reasons. I'm pretty much sure. It's really worth to analyze the whole year and all these combined energetic and you know, like these negative influences over a long time. I mean, obviously I am not blaming anyone or any COVID or anything for the development of my cancer. This is absolute bullshit. There is no one else to blame than only me and myself, because it was me who did not go to the prevention coloscopy, which I could have done on the cost of the government already 10 years ago, and that would have spared me the whole thing, and we wouldn't sit here right now. There's no one else than only me is to blame for this. But of course there are energetic things which have an impact and an influence, and they are not really like measurable or definable, but it's really, for me, it's more and more like important to reflect at least a little bit about these influences and these different energy additions of negative energy and over a long period of time, actually. So this was the situation when I was like in February experiencing the first symptoms, like some blood in the toilet, and I was more than ready to just for quite a while to ignore it, because I was like, my entire system was like, I don't want to know this. I don't want to deal with this. So I can't, because it's now finally everything looks like it in half a year, in 6 months or so, everything goes at least in the direction of being close to next to normal, to quote a legendary Broadway show. Obviously after, so it was also not like a massive bleeding. So this was like, it came and went and there was like, but it was steadily there. And at some point, I think after 2 weeks or 3 weeks or so, I decided, okay, you should actually see a doctor. So I went to my family doctor, to my Allgemeinmediziner, as we call this in German. And he made, first of all, he made an STD test, which was the absolute right thing and the necessary thing to do, but it was kind of like technically unlikely that this would have been caused by an STD. So the result was also, after a week, was negative. We did another one just to make sure that it was not a false negative result. The second result after another week was also negative. So, and then my doctor said, okay, you need to see a specialist. You need to see a proctologist. I don't even know if this is a word in English. Proctologe. So an expert in these rectal and colon rectal whatever affairs. So it took me another 2 weeks until I finally brought myself to make an appointment with him, which I got quite quickly, I have to say. And then I found myself on this beautiful stool, and he was like examining my rectum, and he was like, I will never forget this. He was really cheerful during the first, like say, 10 11, 12 centimeters. He was like, oh, this looks really good here. Looks, everything is like really like smooth and you know, and then from one second to another, it went mute down there, and I was like, okay. I mean, I am trained to interpret even like the way of breathing and stuff, you know. So, and I said the way he started breathing at this point was not a good sign. So we went into his office, and he said, okay, there is something in the height of like 11 centimeters which doesn't belong there. And he hurried to say afterwards, it still can be some inflammatory kind of process, but his whole entire voice and the entire attitude actually told the exact opposite, which was, it would really surprise me if this wouldn't be cancer. So, and he referred me with quite urgency to this special, this highly specialized St. Joseph Hospital here in Berlin, which is which like gathers and combines all even possibly involved departments of medical departments and stuff. I will go to this a little bit more on detail on Friday. So until now comes the big question. This was like beginning of April, and it took me 2 months almost until I was able and ready to turn myself into this St. Joseph Hospital for intense and final diagnosis kind of session. And I will tell you why. And this turned out to be exactly the right decision, because I knew it was cancer. You know your body. I knew exactly. This was no inflammation. I knew this was colon cancer. Obviously, I did not know and not let this already really reaching my conscious part of the brain, how serious and how like developed and how actually really that serious the diagnosis will be. But I knew I would get a cancer diagnosis, and I simply needed myself to get, without any pressure, just to let this sink into my unconscious, into my whole system, to make myself able to deal properly and you know, like constructively with this situation without and not freaking out completely. So I took this time, and it took me really 2 months. I didn't set myself a deadline or something. I was really like feeling at some point, okay, now I'm ready. So I wrote them an email, and I got, surprisingly, an immediate response, because my doctor had on this letter noted as soon as possible, so ASAP, explanation mark. So I haven't seen that before, and this was apparently for them a sign that is really, and that needs to be done better, like yesterday than tomorrow. So I got an appointment for these 3 days hospitalization, actually already the week after. And yes, this was the the beginning of this journey, and I will share with you next week, no, not next week, on Friday. Sorry for this quite long post, by the way. This is by far the longest one, and I will lead, I mean, I'm not intend to be the new Alfred Hitchcock or Orson Welles, you know, like Citizen Kane, and making like hours long tracks, but this is I needed to put this a little bit in context, and to talk a little bit about the entire environment in which this cancer, in its already developed form, probably decided, okay, this is a good environment to now really to prosper and grow. I think that this happened in the last year, and or in the last year, 1 or 2 years, and which is good. Who knows how long I would have ignored this otherwise. And to put this just in the context, and in the context of my life situation and the general, I mean, global situation, actually. Yes. Sorry again for this extremely long post. I promise I will get better with this. I did not really, you know, like prepare this properly, so I was like really like not even cue words or something. So I was really like sitting myself down here and started talking. Probably not the best idea. So next time I will plan the content in advance a little bit more customer friendly. Yeah, guys, that's it for me today, and I am Otis Sneyrom. Check out my Insta @Sneyrom. You can contact me. Oh, by the way, I really would like to encourage you, if you like it, if you feel like, use the comment the comment function for one thing, because this that's really interesting for me too. If there's anything you are interested in being addressed, or you would like to know, or something, or I should talk about, or I should explain more, or you want to have any kind of particular tips or whatever, just don't hesitate and use the comment function for making suggestions, and this would be more than appreciated. So I love you all. I send out to each and every one of you my deep respect, my utter love, and see you on Friday. Ciao.